I'm Helen Jackson, and I came here in 1960, December of 1960, and I was hired as Mr. Bill Robertson's personal secretary. That grew to be a little bit more than a secretary. I was secretary to about 7 men, and I stayed secretary for about 17 or 18 years. And then I went over to sales as a sales service assistant. I was promoted to national sales coordinator sometime in the 80s. In 1960, when I came, there were no tapes, no tape machines whatsoever. We went on the air with either live, film, or slides. 1960 or 61, we did get a tape machine, which was the large 2-inch, if you remember, large 2-inch tapes that were constantly breaking down. We had a live announcer that would sit in the booth all day long, and he would have the commercials that were read in a book they called a continuity book. And he would take the log, of course, and then he would read the commercials live. Back in the 60s, I think we had like 3 people in the news. I have seen it one time. This is an instance that I remember. Somebody was sick, and there was no one to do the anchor, no one to do the news at all. So they got someone from the sales department to do it. The TV shows, we had several going. We had Hospitality House. They would have cooking shows. They would interview people. My husband ran camera on Teen Canteen, and we had Bar 7 Roundup. That was a country band that played music, and they came here every Saturday afternoon and did it live. Another one was Whitney the Hobo, W-I-T-N-E-Y. Ideal for kids to come in when they had birthdays. I know, now this goes way back too, my children were small back then, and they came and saw Mr. Whitney the Hobo. We had telethons here at the station, and people would come in and do different acts like singing and dancing and whatever, and it was just a multi-mass of people here. And when they would come in, we had to almost nail down everything that we had because they would take it. Bill Robertson was a perfectionist, a perfect gentleman. He was a fine person to work for. He always respected me, and he used to call me Mrs. Jackson, never by my first name. So there was a lot of respect on both sides. Mr. Robertson was president of the Dr. Pepper bottling. He had, well, 5 or 6 bottling plants, but he owned Dr. Pepper and the Dr. Pepper products. And I used to sit here every morning, which I've done for 40 years, and drank a Coke. I would have a Coke here on my desk, and he would walk in the door, you know, but he never, ever said anything to me about it. I know he wanted me to switch to Dr. Pepper, but I could not. Everybody knows Mike Smythe. He's Mr. Business Break, and I used to help him on that too, along with a lot of other things. But I like Smythe. You can't help from liking Smythe. He's so personable and outgoing, and I really do miss him a lot because he kept things going, as Mike knows. He kept things lively around here. The most important thing here at the station was I met my husband, and we dated for about 4 years and got married, and we had a child, and I would say that was my #1 event here at the station, because we've had a happy marriage ever since, 33 years, 34 years. I've met a lot of nice people here. They've come and go, and some I have forgotten, and some you don't ever forget. You know, I enjoyed working with all of my GSMs that I've worked for. David Jernigan, Bill Stanley, and Mike Smythe, and David Cavalier, and now Steve Sproles. Every one of them, I've enjoyed working with them. Everyone here at WITN, I want to wish you well and the best of luck to everything, and wish me well too, because I'm undergoing something very different. It's sad. I'm sad to leave all of you guys, but I'm anxious to go home too.